Slowpokes. Speedy Day Gary the garden snail sighed, watching a blur of brown fur zip past his lettuce leaf. "Rabbit again," he murmured, his eye stalks drooping. Every day it was the same. The rabbits bounced, the butterflies fluttered, even the ants marched in a hurry. Gary moved at, well, snail speed. "If only I could be fast," he whispered to his shiny shell. "Just for one day," he practiced. He stretched his foot, he wiggled extra hard. He even tried rolling downhill, which ended with him dizzy and stuck in a daisy. Nothing worked. He was Gary the Slowpoke, and that was that. Thump. A sudden, tiny sound broke the afternoon quiet. Not a rabbit thumper, softer, sadder thump. Gary peered over his leaf. On the grass below the big oak tree lay a baby sparrow, its fluffy feathers ruffled, chirping weakly. Above the nest teetered precariously on a high branch, and the mother bird fluttered anxiously, calling in sharp, worried notes. "Oh, crumbs." Gary gasped. The baby needed to get back up. But the rabbits, they'd already zoomed away, too busy racing each other to notice. The butterflies fluttered nervously, but couldn't lift the chick. The ants formed a worried line, but couldn't climb the smooth bark. Gary looked at the towering oak. It seemed as tall as a mountain. His usual path was a single leaf. Climbing that tree, it would take forever. He'd be too slow. The baby chirped again, a sound that tugged at Gary's soft heart. But who else is there? Gary thought. Someone has to try. Taking a deep breath, which for a snail is mostly just deciding to move, Gary slid off his lettuce leaf. He oozed determinedly across the grass, leaving his familiar silvery trail behind. He reached the base of the mighty oak. The bark was rough, but not impossible. He pressed his strong foot against it, found a tiny groove, and began up. 1 millimeter, then another. His progress was invisible to anyone glancing quickly. A ladybug landed on his shell. "Need a lift, Gary?" She buzzed kindly. "Thanks, Dot." Gary puffed. "But I've got to do this myself. Slow and steady." He inched upward, past the mossy patch, past the first knothole. The sun warmed his shell. His trail glistened behind him like a path of courage. Below, the mother sparrow watched, her chirps growing softer, hopeful. The baby bird quieted, as if sensing help was coming, however slowly. Minutes stretched. Gary focused only on the next tiny grip, the next small push. He didn't think about the height or the time or how slow he was. He just thought about the fluffy chick waiting above. Finally. His eye stalks peeked over the edge of the nest. The mother sparrow let out a joyful trill. Gary carefully nudged the baby bird with his head, gently guiding its wobbly legs back into the safety of the twigs. The mother immediately fluffed her wings over her chick, cooing softly. Gary had done it. Exhausted but triumphant, Gary began his slow descent. By the time he reached the bottom, a small crowd had gathered. The relieved mother sparrow, Dot the ladybug, a few curious ants, and even the rabbits, who'd stopped their race to watch the incredible sight. Gary, cried Dot. "You climbed the whole tree. You saved Pip," chirped the mother sparrow. The biggest rabbit thumped his foot. "That was the bravest, most important climb I've ever seen. You weren't slow, Gary. You were speedy, Gary." "Speedy Gary." Gary blinked, his eye stalks wobbling in surprise. "Absolutely," said the other rabbit. "You got there when it mattered most. Speed isn't just about how fast your feet go, it's about how fast your heart says I'll help." A warm feeling, brighter than sunshine, spread through Gary's shell. He hadn't needed to be a blur. He'd just needed to be himself, careful, steady, and willing to try. From then on, Gary still moved at snail speed, but whenever he passed the big oak, the sparrows would call down, "Hello, Speedy Gary." And Gary, the garden snail, who once wished to be fast, would carry his shell a little taller, knowing that sometimes the slowest path leads to the biggest cheers. After all, true speed isn't measured in hops or flutters, it's measured in heart.